What's up, YouTube? Yep, you know it is. It's Prepper556. I'm back. I had a long hiatus, and I'm sorry about that. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, just things around the house. My wife ended up getting really sick. I've been trying to focus on her health after that. I wasn't the best weight for my body type. So I've actually lost a ton of weight, but then I gained it back after my wife got sick. And we finally focused on her and got her to lose a ton of weight, so now it's my turn. And I figured for the first video back, I'll show you what has been more of a priority. Even though I prep a lot still, I turned to a different kind of prep, meal prep. So it help us lost a lot of weight. I originally went down from 241 pounds at my heaviest down to 206, just trying to get to that 200-pound mark, and I fell short. My wife got sick. She really got sick, really sick. Became super, well, that's a long story. But anyway, we got her to recover, thank God. And, she had a lot, we weren't that great when it came to our physical health. She's going to kill me for saying this, but probably at her heaviest, she was 160 pounds. And she's 5'4", so you can obviously see that that's not a good idea to be that heavy. And we got her down to 136, which is awesome. So, she's on her road to recovery here, and everything is good. She's way more physical, active. She's straight up strong now. We do a lot of heavy weightlifting, a lot of kind of CrossFit, mobility. We just do a ton of everything, and we're definitely on our road to be where we want to be. We still got a ways to go. But getting back to what I was saying is, I went from 241 down to 206, and then she got sick, and I went back up. So I'm about 220 pounds again, and I'm not happy, so I got to get back. And one of the things that we did to get her weight down, as I focused on her and kind of forgot about me in the process, is we did a specific meal prep, and that's what I'm going to show you in this video today. We'll get back into prepping, and we'll get back into survival, and we'll get back into homesteading, and I'll do all that. The channel's still going to stay the same, but I'm going to add another aspect to it. I'm definitely going to add the fitness part to it, because I really think it's a necessity at this point. A lot of people, we can't do what we're going to do if we're not fit, and I kind of learned that the hard way. So but anyway, we make a very, very bland meal. And listen, I've come to learn things the hard way. You think you're going to go into a fitness journey and you're going to turn around and make these ridiculously gourmet meals. And yeah, you might be able to do that. But man, it takes a lot of work, a lot of prepping, and people just don't have time, especially when you're trying to do all the other prepping that we're into. And you just can't fit it all into the day without stressing yourself out ridiculously. You get crazy. So I learned the hard way that you have to learn to try to make the food taste good, but it's not about pleasure. You don't eat for pleasure. You have to eat for purpose. Whether you're in combat, or whether you're losing weight, or whether you're trying to maintain weight, or whatever you're trying to do, you have to eat for purpose. Pleasure is a secondary aspect. So, I make a very bland meal. We stuck with ground turkey, which I'll mention the ingredient. I'll show you the ingredients in a minute. But we stuck with ground turkey and rice, and basically that's our go-to meal. And then we add broccoli or maybe organic salsa, which I haven't showed in the ingredients, but that's like an option. It's just a very simple, bland meal, but it works. It's gotten her to drop a ton of weight. I started to do it now, and it's gotten me to start dropping weight again, and this is what we do. So we cook enough rice. I don't use brown rice. I use white, long grain, enriched rice, because it's easier on the stomach. It is a faster burning carb. Brown rice does burn slower to give you more sustained energy, but I've also seen studies that show that sometimes people get bloated and they feel heavy and weighed down with it. And because it's such a slow carb, sometimes it can actually go rancid in your system before you actually can digest it all, and not really giving you any health benefit to that. So I just stick with the white rice. It works for us. We feel a heck of a lot lighter. It digests almost instantly. It does give you the quick burst of energy, but we eat 6 meals a day, whether they're protein shakes or meals or snacks, and that gives us energy throughout the day anyway. Usually 2 of those meals are going to be a protein shake, one after the hard workout and one going to sleep, right before we go to bed. And that helps us get through the night. But yeah, if you're going to make a meal for just you, this is going to last for 2 days. And my rice cooker, this cup right here, will make 2 cooked cups of rice. So you would use 2 of them so that you can get 4 cooked cups of rice. And that'll give you 2 meals a day for 4 days. 2 meals a day for 2 days. You double that recipe for both of us, or 2 people, or if you just want to make longer amount of days so you don't have to cook as often. And that'll give you 2 cups a day for 2 cups of meal, whatever, for 4 days. The turkey, I got the turkey from Costco, and it's 93% lean, 7% fat. A lot of people think that you have to cut down fat altogether. Actually, you need fat, otherwise your body will not really burn fat efficiently. It'll try to store it, because we're actually programmed to kind of be in survival mode with our body. So it doesn't like to burn fat. It likes to do the things the easy way. I've come to find out that the hard way. And so a little fat's not going to kill you. But this is 93% lean, 7% fat. I get this at Costco. They sell 2-pound bags of it. You get a 4-pack. It's usually just under $18. Great deal. If you don't have a Costco and you have a BJ's, they sell a 1.5-pound pack, and it's approximately the same price point, but it's only a 3-pack. It's not a 4-pack, so you don't get as much. Too bad you can't have a Costco. If you do, go to Costco. Yep, and this is going to be enough for me and my wife for, like I said, 2 meals a day for 2 days each. So that's good. Then we're going to do a little healthy fat, because the turkey doesn't necessarily have the most healthy fat. So you're looking at coconut oil to actually, grease up the pan a little bit. It's 100% organic. I also get this at Costco, but you can get that anywhere. One specialty ingredient that you have to look for, and you can get this usually in your organic section of your supermarket or a vitamin shop or GNC, maybe not GNC, but I've seen it in Vitamin Shop. It's called Bragg Liquid Aminos, and it's an all-purpose seasoning. And you notice I don't have any salt up here. Well, this is going to provide plenty of salt. And salt's not necessarily bad for you. You want to have a little salt so you stay hydrated, but you don't want to have so much that you get bloated. This is all natural. It's going to taste like soy sauce, but not have any of the negative side effects of soy sauce. And the cool thing is, it's liquid aminos. It actually has your amino acids in it that help you build muscle, so you're going to end up staying stronger, and you're not going to lose muscle or as much muscle when you maintain it. Obviously, in a diet, if you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, because muscle uses fuel, obviously, to food for fuel, and it's going to help you burn those calories. If you don't maintain the muscle, what's going to end up happening is, if you stop dieting or have a sudden change in your diet, you actually might put weight back on, and it will be harder the next time to take off, because you don't have that muscle there fueling your metabolism. So you want to maintain muscle. That's key. I usually have a little water, just because when you put the turkey and seasonings in the pan, it will get kind of burned to the bottom of the pan if you don't have a non-stick. And I use the water to kind of deglaze the pan, make it a little more liquid to flavor the food faster. And it's also a key indicator of when it's done for me, because by the time the water evaporates with steam and all that, I know that the turkey is usually pretty cooked good. And I'll show you that in the video later on. One of my other ingredients that I love, really, really good for this, it's going to add a lot of flavor, especially since you're not grilling this because it's ground, is smoked paprika. Awesome. You can find that usually in small bottles everywhere, but I did get this at a BJ's near me, and it's got a hell of a nice smoky flavor to it. We're going to use onion powder. We're going to use ground black pepper, and I use ground cumin. You can actually use taco seasonings. You can use other, like maybe Mrs. Dash or something like that. But you try to find seasonings that don't add additional calories unnecessarily. Now an option that I use, that my wife doesn't use, and I like things hot, she doesn't, is going to be ground cayenne pepper. Now, if you like spicy food, you should add some kind of pepper with it, whether it's sriracha sauce or some kind of hot sauce or ground cayenne. It's going to be a thermogenic. It's going to raise your body temperature. It's actually going to raise your metabolism because your body now is sweating and doing what it has to do because of the heat, and that helps you burn calories, obviously. So that's an added plus. I don't know what's the matter with me today. I can't talk. Got to get back into this video swing of things here. I'm trying to do this in one take without making a million edits, so I can get it up to you as fast as possible. Another thing that I add is real lemon juice. The liquid kind, it's just faster. If you want to squeeze lemons, go ahead, knock yourself out. It's probably better, but this is 100% real lemon juice. So, and then what I like, this just makes it a little bit more liquidy, so it's not so dry. And lemon actually helps you block fat too, so that's another plus to it. So what I'm going to do is I rinse off the rice and I put it in. I have a rice cooker, so I'll show you how to do that. I rinse it off. Some people say don't rinse it off. I rinse it off so it's not as sticky. You're really not going to, rice doesn't have too much nutrition in it. It has enough. And people say that if you rinse it and you take all the starch off of it, you're really washing away all the nutrition. It's almost impossible to wash all the starch off rice because that's pretty much what it is. I just don't want it to be so sticky and make the water cloudy and it becomes just a pain in the ass to work with. So we're going to rinse it off, put it in the rice cooker, and have that going. And while that's going, I'll show you how to season the turkey, or how I season. Alright, so as you can see, I added the rice rinsed, and I added the water up to the proper fill line. My rice cooker, for every cup, you have to add a cup of water. My rice cooker also says a minimum of 2 cups at a time. I mean, you probably can cook just one, but I guess it's timed for the 2 cups. You can cook rice traditional if you don't have a rice cooker. It's up to you. For me, I think it works a lot better. So, and it frees me up from paying attention to it while I'm doing other things. So that's why I have one. All right, so put that in there like that. Close the lid and hit white rice. Can't get any more simpler than that. Usually takes approximately about 42 minutes for it to heat up and do its thing, and the rice comes out flawless every time. So now that we're doing that, I'll show you how to season the turkey and get that cooked. Alright, so here's what I do to season the ground turkey. Now I don't really measure, I just kind of do it by sight. Like I said, you can season it however you want. I just recommend seasoning it to taste, your individual taste, and you'll be satisfied with it more than likely. Alright, so I open up the packages, just like this, and I start with the smoked paprika. Just grab a napkin real quick because I don't want to cross-contaminate anything here. And all I do is I layer it. I sprinkle enough smoked paprika on. It's going to look like a lot, but this is what I do. You got to remember, there's 4 pounds of meat here, so I sprinkle enough smoked paprika on the turkey to kind of cover it. Alright, once that's done, I go to the onion powder and do the same thing. I just sprinkle onion powder on it, just like that. Then I'm going to take the ground pepper and put some pepper on there. Like I said, my wife doesn't like it too spicy, so I add the majority of the heat with the hot sauces or the cayenne pepper or things like that. And I do that separately at the end for me so that it will not affect her. Now I'm going to use the cumin here and do the same thing. I just sprinkle it on until it kind of covers everything, like so. And put a little more there. Alright. And that's really it. That's the seasonings. And now I'll show you what I do as we cook it up on the pan, in the pan. Alright, so what I do is I put approximately a tablespoon of coconut oil in the pan, and we're going to turn it on to pretty close to high heat, a little bit more than medium, a little less than high. And we're going to let that melt up, and as soon as that melts up, the coat at the bottom of the pan, I will show you what we do next. Alrighty, so without getting burned here, this is what we do. We're at the point of putting the ground meat in, and what I do is I just, I should probably do this away from me, but whatever. Come on. Come on. Of course I'm on camera and you're going to give me a hard time. Alright, so that's one package. And then I take the second package and do the same thing. Alright. All the spices. And what I'll do is I'll just start to chop it up. It's actually going to get stuck. All the spices are going to kind of get burned at the bottom of the pan, but that's alright. It gives it that smoked, like, cooked outdoor flavor. And what I'll end up doing to deglaze the pan, like I said, is I will add a little bit of water. Nice. I always tell people with the recipe, that I give to my friends or whatever, approximately a quarter cup. I just kind of play it by ear. I don't really measure anything. God darn it, I'm Italian. We don't measure nothing. We just do everything by sight. So now what I'll do is I'll take the water and I'll just pour it in there. That's about all I put. And that'll get everywhere. Start to deglaze the pan. And then, that's all we do. And we're going to cook this until it's cooked all the way through. And toward the end of the process, what's going to happen is it's going to seriously start to really steam up. And then excess fluid will actually start to drain away or burn away, evaporate basically. And when there's almost no fluid left, that's when I will actually, I kind of get an idea that it's done. And I'll take it off and move on to the next step. So I'll let this cook, and then I'll get back to it when it's just about done, and then I'll show you where we go from there and how I set up the meals. And at that point, you're going to need a food scale. I didn't mention it in the beginning, but you saw it there. The food scale that I use is an Eat Smart food scale, and I got it on Amazon. Can't remember what I paid for it. I don't think it was more than like 30 bucks. I'll try to look it up. Maybe I'll annotate it in the video or put it in the description, a link to what to the one that I use. But I'll show you how to use that and how it works for me and my wife. Just keep mixing it up till it cooks all the way through. Like I said, when it's done, we'll let you know, kinda, by all the steam and water going away. Now a little bit of fat's alright in there, because when I put it into the meal prep containers, I actually strain it with a special kind of a spatula that I have, a special kind of spoon that I use for this. And it gets a lot of the juice and fat out of it. That's bad. It only kind of keeps the healthy stuff. So I'll show you what that is as soon as we get to that part. Alright, so as you can see, it's starting to really steam up now. Okay? And that's an indicator that it's starting to get cooked. And it's pretty much done at this point, or almost done at this point. I just like to make sure, because as with like chicken and turkey and any kind of poultry, you get sick if it's undercooked. You should be measuring it to an internal temperature of 160 degrees, but this is chopped meat, basically it's ground, so it's a little harder to calculate, so I just like to overcook it a little bit and make sure so that we're safe. And you can see there's a little bit of fat in there. You can see the fat comes in, That's alright, that's flavor right there. That's actually going to get drained away. It just keeps it a little moist, so it's not too dry when you're eating it. Because it is, I'm not going to lie, this is a bland meal. It's nothing spectacular. It just works. it's gonna make you lose weight. And that's, you know, if you eat it in the right calories. Don't get me wrong, you can actually bulk on this too. If you want to put some mass on, you can actually bulk. You just have to eat tons of it. Well, in my case, I'm eating it in the proper calories to help me lose weight and maintain muscle. So, and I'll show you how we calculate that, like I said, when I get to that part. My wife, for an example, she is on a 1,300 calorie a day macros. Her macros are 1,300 calories per day. That's what they are. Let me say that correctly. I'm trying to focus on this and I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. So, in order for her to lose weight, she has to burn obviously more than 1,300 calories a day. She does that doing her chores around the house and the gym and all that. And being in that deficit, obviously she's going to lose weight, and she did. She lost a ton, and it works. Trust me. If you follow this, it's going to work. Alright, so that's where we stand with this. I'm going to show you and get the camera set up so I can show you where and how I prep the containers now. Okay, so we're at the point where we're going to start to prep our containers, okay? And these are what the containers look like. And you have your lids, obviously, that go on them. And they're perfect size for what we do here with the meal prep. In the background, I got some broccoli being steamed, and we're approximately 2 minutes away from the rice being done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my food scale. Now I like this one. Like I said, I got this on Amazon. It's the Eat Smart one. And the reason why I did this and went with this one is it can do 4 different measurements. It does pounds, ounces, grams, and kilograms, which is actually really, really cool. Most of them only do 2. So it's pretty accurate too, and it works for what we need. Now for me, I usually take in anywhere from 5 to 6 ounces of protein, and usually a cup of rice when I make rice, which is, it equates to 5.60 ounces. So these containers weigh approximately an ounce. So what I'm going to do is you hit the tear button, and now it's zeroed out. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. And I'm just going to take my turkey and start to fill the container until I hit, well, we'll do 5 ounces today for me. Oh, and the rice is ready. So we're at 410, 415, 430, 485. Boom! 5 ounces on the money. And I will do that for all 4 of my containers, and I'll just make sure every time I put it on that the scale zeroes back out now that it's accurate, because the containers don't necessarily always have to equal the same amount. And I will just continue to do that until I fill up all 4 of mine. And then for my wife's, what I will do is I will put 4 ounces of turkey in hers, because that's what she requires. Now what we try to shoot for is 1 gram of protein per body weight. And that is a good rule of thumb to help you maintain muscle. Well, a little over now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little out. Now it doesn't hurt. I like to be exact because I'm really trying to lose weight. You can go over by a little. It's probably not going to hurt you that much. And we're at 5. There we go. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when I do stuff. So it could be a curse. It could be a blessing. Depends on how you look at it. Alright, and then once I do all these and I get my wife's done, I will come back and show you how we add the rice and other ingredients. So now we're at the rice point of the game here. And, wow, this came out good. Very, very good. Nice and fluffy. Alright, so it's going to be hot. I probably should have opened this a little bit while I was doing the meat, but we should be alright. So what I'm going to do is I'll take it out instead of doing it in the rice cooker so you can see it. Alright, and you can see that's perfectly cooked. You can't get any better than that, baby. Woo! Alright, turn this off. Get it out of the way. Now, I basically do this exactly the same way except right now I do about a cup of rice per meal for me, and my wife will be a little bit less. So basically, she will be at, well, a cup of rice is 5.6 ounces for me. For her, I'll do a little, close to 5, maybe a little less than 5, depends on how I feel. So I tear out the scale, and I try to get this as close as possible. Now this could be a little bit of a pain because, like I said, the rice is sticky in the beginning. I just keep putting it in there until I get 5.6 ounces, or close to it. Oh, that's too much. So now I'm going to burn myself. Take some out. So at 6.5, 5.7, 5.65, 5.6. Oh, I took a little too much. Oh no, we're at 5.6. All right, good. And I'll do that for every meal, making sure that I zero. This can get a little different, so I make sure that the scale is zeroed out, and I continue to go. Alright, so we're at 580, a little bit too much. Take a little out. 5.5, put a little back in. And out a little bit more. Come on. Change to 5.60. I'm kind of anal like that. Keep putting it until I get enough. Here we go. I want to be exact because I'm trying to really hit a goal. We're actually involved in a challenge at our gym right now where we can win some money, so forgive me if I look a little anal. Oh, 5.65. Take a little bit out. Put a little back in because I went a little too much. We should be at, come on now, let's go. Alright, 5.60. And you get the idea. So when I get ready to do the additives and the optionals, I will get back and show you at that point. As you can see here, at the end of all the prep here, I have extra. So that happens. I mean, you can make, there's usually not enough to make 2 meals, sometimes there is. So in this case, what I do is I make an extra meal for me with all the leftovers. I really don't measure it that much. I usually use it when I do like a heavy leg day or something like that, just to give me extra protein and carbs, and it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't really help, but it doesn't really hurt. It's just extra. So now we're going to season it, and I'll show you what I do here, because we're pretty much all caught up, and I'm running out of battery, so I'll show you what I do with my wives. What I'll do is I'll take her meal containers, okay, and I take the Bragg liquid Aminos, and I just do a squirt. I squirt one squirt into each one to give it a little flavor. Okay. I'll do the same for mine. I'll take a little bit of the real lemon juice and put that in there. Just a little bit to give it a little bit of lemon flavor. Help with the fat blocking, give it some taste. And then when the broccoli's done, we'll add the broccoli, and I'll show you what the finished meals look like. Broccoli's almost finished steaming, so what I'm going to do to make it easier is I mix the actual ingredients around. You can keep it separate. I think it just cooks a little bit better. I try not to spill it like that because, you know, like I said, we're trying to hit our calories here. So I'll just mix it all around. This is all my wives, each container. And then I'll add the broccoli later because it's hard to mix with the big chunks of broccoli in there. It kind of looks disgusting, but believe me, it gets the job done. It doesn't taste the greatest in the world, but like I said, you're eating for purpose, not pleasure, when you're trying to either gain muscle or lose weight. It's just the way it is. You know, you can eat healthy if you have the time and you want to make these gourmet meals, but I found that the keep it simple, stupid method, you know, the KISS method, actually is the best method because you stick with it longer, and you make the meals, and you get a couple days worth, and you don't have to worry about cooking because they're already there. I just throw them in the microwave and warm them up, or you can take them out of the container and put it in a pan if you don't like microwaves, or, you know, whatever you have to do. And that's really it. And you see what I do with mine. I add the cayenne pepper powder, and I'll mix that up. I do that after. This way it doesn't, my wife doesn't get all crazy from the heat. And that's it. We'll add the broccoli, and I'll show you what it looks like. Battery's going to die, so hopefully I have enough time to do this. Alright, so there you have it. Finished meals. Now, like I said, you don't have to be so anal like I was, measuring everything out. If you're bulking to try to put on some size, you can just pretty much eat as much as you want, as long as you don't, make yourself turn into a glutton. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I mean, this is what my wife will eat. In addition to that, we'll have 2 protein shakes. One right after our most intense workout of the day, and one before we go to sleep. These are my wives. Let me do mine. I don't put a lot of broccoli. I didn't kind of make a lot. But the broccoli is a nice touch because it adds extra fiber. Even though the rice has some fiber, it doesn't have a lot. You can substitute the broccoli for organic salsa, which is another nice thing I like to do. The organic salsa will make it moister and give it a little color, and it looks good. And then I have, like I said, I got my bonus meal here that I can use and eat whenever I want. So those are mine. I don't want to mix them up. These are my wives, and that's what we do. And it's working. Now I got to just get myself in gear and lose as much as she did and start focusing on myself. I took care of her when she was sick, like I was mentioning, and I made her a priority and kind of slacked on myself. So we're going to move forward. So here's what the channel is going to look like from this point on. I'm still going to do all my prepping and survival and, all that kind of good stuff. My weapons, whatever, guns. But I'm also going to add a lot of fitness in there because I believe it's key to just about everything. You can't really survive if you're sick and not healthy. So you got to make it a priority, as well as all your other things. You have to learn how to have balance, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm considering changing the name of the channel, and if I do, I'll make a video and you'll know about it. But we'll see. I'm not 100% sure yet. Anyway, there you go. There you have it. That's what we do. This is what we eat. And so far, like I said, it's working. Give it a shot. Eat for purpose, not for pleasure. That's the key. Sounds silly, but that's the key. Alright, later YouTube. Till next time. 556 out.